My name is Mitch Stephen, and I've bought over 2,000 houses in my career since March of 1996. All of it was done in my little hometown of San Antonio, Texas, and today we're going to be asking the question and answering the question, do swimming pools increase property value? Stay tuned. So today we're talking about swimming pools. Are they a good idea to add value to your property? Do you buy a house if it has a pool? Do you don't buy a house? We're going to be answering some questions and going through some numbers. So we're going to start with, what is the average cost of the average pool in America? And then we're going to talk about what is the average maintenance cost of having a pool. And then once we understand those numbers, we're going to start to plug in, how does having a pool affect your market when you're going to sell your house? So the big question is, do swimming pools increase or decrease the value of your home? And should you install a pool to increase value? So all that and more, stick around. Did you know that the average cost of a pool in America ranges between $28,000 and $55,000? That's a bare bones pool, about 12 by 24, and no frills, just the pool. And I went on to do some research in different states to see how maybe the prices were different from state to state. And did you know that in Texas, a bare bones pool about 12 foot by 24 foot runs about $28,000 to $35,000. In Ohio, the average pool ran $35,000 to $45,000. In Florida, the average pool was about $35,000 to $65,000, pretty wide margin there. And in California, pools range between $45,000 and $55,000. But mind you, these are just the bare bones 12 foot by 24 foot pool. And we can't forget New York, right? New York was $50,000 to $75,000. So that's the average pools. And then you start to get to the mid-level, they can go anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000, upper level around $150,000. But as you can imagine, you can spend as much as you want on a pool. But if you think a pool's too expensive, even the basic one, you're not going to like what I have to tell you next. The average annual maintenance for having a swimming pool ranges between $3,000 and $5,000 a year on just the basic pool, okay? Not the big grand whopper pool, just the regular tiny 12 foot by 24 foot pool. The problem with all this information is it really doesn't help us cipher whether or not a swimming pool increases the value of your home or decreases the value of your home. There's way more variables than that to discuss. First of all, where is your house located? Because if it's located in one part of the country, swimming pools could be really popular, and in another part of the country, there's hardly any swimming pools. One thing is for sure though, people either want a pool or they don't. And there's not very many in-betweens, no matter what market they're in. If a buyer wants a pool, he wants a pool. If a buyer doesn't want a pool, he doesn't want a pool. It doesn't matter what part of the country he's in. And you will get a different set of lookers if you have a pool than if you don't have a pool. For sure you will. Here's what I know about pools. I would never add one to increase the value unless I was in a very high dollar house in a very high dollar neighborhood, and it was almost a requirement to have a pool at this level of income or at this level of buyer. You would be very remiss if you did not have a pool in a very high tier house, okay? That being said, I don't think I would ever add a pool to any other kind of house just to increase the value, unless there was something very, very original about the setting or the landscape or some kind of area that just begged for a pool. I don't think I would do it. Because here's the thing. Just like everything else in life, it's very personal. What you might like in a pool might not have anything to do with what the person who wants to buy this house would like in a pool. Maybe it's best just to reduce the price down and present the option that here's a perfect place to put a pool. I've done some research for you from these 7 pool companies, and this is kind of some, and go ahead and pitch the idea of the pool and that where it would go and how it would set, but let them do it. On the other end of the spectrum, there has been many times I have filled in a pool, caved it in, and made it disappear and go away. Some of these pools were in the wrong place. Some of these pools had been pushed up out of the ground because they bled all the water out of them. And then when it rained, the expansion of the soils popped the pool out of the ground. And it was just going to be more cost to fix it than it was just to bury it. And other times, I just didn't want to deal with the pool because it made no sense for the house. So, on the question of whether to put a pool in or to take a pool out, I can tell you from personal experience, I've made a lot of pools disappear. I haven't put in one pool to increase the value. Not saying I wouldn't, but I've never been in the situation where it was called for. Now, before I get to a very fun fact about swimming pools in the United States of America, let's take a little time to hit that like button, hit that share button, and please subscribe, because we're going to have a lot of episodes coming your way. All right, now about that fun fact I promised you. Did you know that the most popular city in the United States of America for swimming pools is Gilbert, Arizona? For hanging around, I am going to give you a free copy of my book if you'll just agree to pay $7 for shipping and handling. The book is My Life in 1,000 Houses, Failing Forward to Financial Freedom. And if you'll agree to pay $7 for shipping and handling, I'm going to send you a hard copy of this book plus a creative real estate investing webinar that's about an hour and a half long that is digitally downloadable and will be in your hands in an instant. So go to 1000houses.com/free-stuff and click on the link that reads $7 book offer. Not only will you get the book, but you'll get the Creative Real Estate Investing webinar for free, digitally downloaded instantly. All right, this is Mitch Stephen, and I'm off to the next episode.